introducing our next inductee, who is Bernard Van Wilke. I give you Hall of Fame member since 2004, Pete Schumacher.
When Rich was talking about Frank, I was on that team in '57 when we defeated Germantown by scores of 2-0 and 2-1 in the playoffs. And the manager of Germantown at that time had a what's his name? What was his name? Some of you Germantown people, he had a tavern right down the road here. Lou Winters had a tavern, and we went to the tavern after the game, and we didn't go home until we spelled out the word Trenton with empty beer bottles. That was the most important part. So what a great series that was. Both games lasted only about an hour and 40 minutes. And like Rich said, it was truly a pitcher's great game. Bernard Ben Wilke. When we refer to Bernard tonight, we have called him Ben almost all of his life, because that's what his father's name was. 1938, St. Rose, Illinois. 2009, McKee Rock, Pennsylvania. That's where Ben now lives, which is about 20 or 30 minutes out of Pittsburgh. St. Rose, one of the smallest communities in Clinton County ever to field a team, tonight has the honor of having its third entry in the Clinton County Hall of Fame. Bernard Ben Wilke joins Lefty Timmerman and Bob Klosterman in this distinction as previous entrants. As I said, Ben was born in 1938 to Ben and Annie Wilke. I got to know Ben early, since I was born in 1939. You see, our mothers were sisters. Therefore, we are first cousins. You figured that out, haven't you? We all have favorite cousins in our life, but Ben truly was one of mine, basically because of our age. But tonight, since many of his brothers and sisters are here tonight, Roman, Hugo, Tom, Genevieve, and Ann, and Taglin, God took her, they also are my favorite first cousins tonight. Oh, I have a vibration here, Ken. I have a phone call. It's from the St. Louis Cardinals. What do you want? You want to talk? Skip Schumacher wants to talk to me? No, I can't talk to you. I'm doing something for Ben Wilke. Yeah, Skip, I know I told you were my favorite cousin also. But tonight it's Ben's turn, okay? Keep me in mind. I'll see you at the game next spring. Thank you, Skip. See, we all have favorite first cousins. Now, since Skip Schumacher is on the Cardinal team, he also ranks up there. Even though we're spelled differently, we definitely are cousins. In our family's business, which was awesome, we ended up as kids playing baseball. Whether it was in the pastures of St. Rose or the school lots, my dad would load up a car, load of guys from Trenton. We'd go to St. Rose, and they would return. All of us, then we were 11, 12, 13 years old, but we played baseball. Ben loved the game. You see, it came to him by God's plan. Ben had 3 brothers and 3 sisters. That's 6, Ben is 7, and a mom and dad. There's your team right there. He had a team at home, just enough for a team. Ben graduated from Avison High School in 1956, where he also was a great outfielder on a good team at Avison High. Immediately, he found a team in Portelzo to play on during the summer of 1956. But Ben had a dream. In 1957, this dream came true. He mustered enough people out of St. Rose, and especially if any girls were going with guys from other parts of Clinton County, they automatically were on the team. And they entered the team in the Clinton County League. But when you went to St. Rose, you had to worry about the church rules. Games started in those days at 2:30, but at 2 o'clock every Sunday there was vespers. And the good pastor at St. Rose said, no ball game until church is over. Well, somehow they managed to get around that, and eventually the games usually started by about 10 after 2. But they were 2-12, and they were very competitive. Then came 1958. Ben was the catcher on that 57 team. But then came 58, and the military took Ben. And so who was going to catch on the St. Rose team? Well, his big brother Roman, now age 41. And you know Roman, even though he was a great horseshoe thrower, he told him he would catch. Now he's catching Bob Klosterman in those days. Word is that Ben used to have Roman would have a glove, and he'd put a stake in his glove so that would accept the pounding of that fastball. Then came 59, Ben was still gone. Vietnam arrived, and they lost players. They teamed then with Avison and called it the Avison-St. Rose team. They were 9-5 that year, second in the league, and they lost the first round game 14-12 to Breeze. 1960, again it was Avison-St. Rose. They were 12-2, they won the league, and they won the playoffs over Trenton. A young individual by Laverne Hopegrave had something to do with that. Then 1961, Ben is back, and so is St. Rose. They've had a 5-9 record, and they were very, very competitive. One of their members on the team was a young individual by Clarence Young. And I said to Ben one time, why do you have Clarence? He's so young, he's only in the 8th grade. Why do you have him on the team? He said, Pete, his dad owns the tavern across the street. That's good enough for me, right? That took care of the money part after the game, didn't it, Ben? 1962 was a very memorable year. The season record was 9-7, and they were in a 4th place tie with Breeze at the end of the season. St. Rose won that special tiebreaker game. And in the first round, St. Rose defeated Carlisle 10-3. Then came the finals. It was St. Rose versus Trenton. 2 great games, but Trenton happened to come out victorious on that. But St. Rose had made the Final Four in the championship series. In 1963, the league grew to 10 teams. St. Rose was 8-10 that year, and history was made. One particular Sunday, because of an earlier rainout, St. Rose and Beckamar had to play a doubleheader. St. Rose had their ace pitcher, Bob Klosterman, and at the end of the first 7 innings, Ben said, who was the manager most of those years, said, Bob, why don't you just pitch the second game? Bob agreed. Ben caught both games, but in that second game, Bob Klosterman threw a no-hitter in the second game of a doubleheader, and Ben caught them. In 1964, there were 10 teams again, and in that final year for St. Rose ended 4-13. That was the year Beckamar was 16-1. In all the years that St. Rose played, of the 97 games they were 34-63, and the playoffs 1-2. Ben was the manager, the general manager. He was a good player. He was a catcher. He was a pitcher. Great off-speed curve. And he also was an infielder. And most importantly at times, he was even seen passing a hat during the 7th inning. Professional fundraiser, Ben was second to none. You see, after he got back to the military, he became a dancer for the Arthur Murray Studios in St. Louis, a dance instructor. Now that was something for a boy from Clinton County, right? We all have 2 left feet. But one particular Sunday evening, Ben decided to put on a fundraiser at the Albert's Legion Hall and put on this gigantic dance. He had all the people come from Arthur Murray Studio, and the place was packed. Many of our family members were there, and players were attended, and the highlight of the evening was a limbo contest. You had to see it to believe it. Yes, Ben Wilke, Bernard Wilke of St. Rose, and now McKee Rock, Pennsylvania. This is your night. And this is the program where we say thank you for demonstrating that the little town of St. Rose can play and did play with the big dogs. You always need men. We always need men like you, Ben. Your leadership inspired others to be managers, coaches, and dedicated community volunteers. Congratulations, Ben. You are still my favorite cousin. But go Steelers, win it all. Ben Wilke.
You want to get up or once they hear from you?
We're going to go to Ben. If you notice, he's in a wheelchair. He's been afflicted handicap for a few years, but so we told him we would come to him for him to receive this award.
Here's yours, Ben.
Thanks.
There you go.
And the black.
Certificate back.
Thank you.
First of all, with all my favorite cousins and their spouses and their children that are here, from St. Rose, Ben Wilke and I, would you all please stand up? Congratulations, Dad. Woo!
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the officers of the league, Pete, especially for nominating me and selecting me for this award. Managing St. Rose is just a little bit difficult. being all farmers out there, we really had a tough time finding time to practice. You know, because when it was raining, we couldn't play. When the sun was shining, all the players had to work in the field. So there was just no time to practice. So one day, one of the players got this brilliant idea: how about asking Reverend Monsignor Kwok, our parish pastor, to build a dome over our ball field? That would solve our problem. We'd get our practice time and it'd be nice. You know, whenever it was raining, everybody's available, we got a place to go. So we went over to talk to Monsignor Kwok, and he told us very nicely that he did not have a dome stadium on his agenda, nor would he ever have one. So that was all right. We did our duty. We went out every year. We had to fill out the third base hole in the diamond and all that good stuff. But he always made it work a little bit. We worked out a compromise. We were allowed to play before best was over and all that good stuff. But anyhow, our diamond was not very good. It was more like an obstacle course than anything else. We had fences and buildings and everything else in the way. But anyhow, we did have a good year, the one year where we played Trenton, but we ultimately lost at the end. It was a lot of fun to manage a team. One of our players is here tonight, Leslie Terman. I saw him earlier. He's in the Hall of Fame. And Bob Klosterman, who is deceased today, and he was really our good pitcher. So I appreciate this very much. Thank you very much.